Hello, wonderful humans. Welcome back to another Vinyasa practice. Now, you might be wondering why my face is red, and that is because I just filmed this whole class, and once I had finished, I looked at the camera and wasn't recording. And it's moments like that where you're just like, oh my gosh. Oh, wait, just 1 second. I'm gonna check again. Okay, we're recording. Sweet, okay. Where you're just like, oh my goodness. And you really have to practice vairagya, non-attachment, and to just accept it for what it is and move forward. So at least I am all warmed up. And that's what I can say. You look on the good side. Anyway, so today's class, we're going to be working up into two peak poses, two peak asanas. The first being our Purvottanasana, which is the stretch of the east. And then we have our Paschimottanasana, our stretch of the west. Now, you've probably done Paschimottanasana quite a bit. Purvottanasana, maybe not so much. It's a very strong, active asana. It requires a lot of strength through the back body, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the calf muscles in an extended range, which makes it quite challenging. We don't often hold isometric poses like that. If you are interested at all about yoga mythology, I bought this book about a year or two ago called Yoga Mythology, 64 Asanas and Their Stories. I would highly recommend looking into this. It just, gives a bit more background about the stories and the kind of cultures and religions that are associated with the foundation of yoga, mainly being Hindu and Buddhism. And in this book, the author talks about how directions are really important within the philosophy behind yoga, in the way that, and in Hindu practices as well, I believe, where the east, for example, is very important because that is where the sun rises. And so Purvottanasana is kind of energizing, it's lifting up, just like the sun lifts up in the day. And then our Paschimottanasana, which is a stretch of the west, is a bit more grounded because the west is associated with water, and that's kind of where things all start and where they all end as well. So if you're interested in learning more, I would highly recommend that book. We're going to get started on our backs. Now, I've got two options, and that the first being you just lie down in a Savasana position. The second being you could come up, tuck one foot in, so you find a half Virasana, and then lie down. Or maybe you stay lifted, or you could be somewhere on your elbows. Reclining this position will make this much more intense. Wherever you are, can we just find a moment of stillness? So closing down the eyes. Let's just start creating some awareness with the breath. So tracking the inhale and tracking the exhale. And not just in this practice, but yoga as a whole, we are trying to find balance. And the inhale and the exhale, they both complement each other so well. And we need that uplift of energy, but we also need that kind of a downlift of energy. We need both. And just like our Purvottanasana, we also need our Paschimottanasana. Just like we need our open, we also need our closed. And that allows us to become more centered as practitioners, as humans. If you are in your half Virasana, just start to rock yourself up, maybe taking the hands around the ankles and the thigh, and then we'll swap it out. I should also say with this asana, if you feel any tight sensations or a sharp pinching sensation through any of the joints, please let this go It is absolutely not worth it for trying to force yourself into an asana if you find yourself injuring yourself or making yourself feel excessive pain where it's not supposed to be. And the reason why we're warming up with this asana is because it opens through the front of the foot, which is really important for our Purvottanasana, as well as the front of the hips. Let's try about just 3 to 5 more breaths here. Letting go of any tension we may be experiencing in the face and the shoulders. Letting go of any clenching. Coming right into this moment. If you are in your Virasana, walk yourself up again. Extend your left leg out long, roll down onto your back. Let's all slide the feet towards the hips. Hands come by the sides. Use your next breath in, stay down on the ground, and then as you exhale, can you press through the heels to lift your hips up high? Setu Bandhasana. Draw the ribs in slightly, really strong engagement through the glutes, and keep the knees tracking out over the toes. You can stay here, or you can start walking one foot out at a time. And you just keep walking until you don't want to walk anymore, pretty much. The toes might lift off here so that the heels are just pressing into the ground. Your legs might be relatively long and straight here. Anytime you feel the lower back starting to arch and the hips dropping down, come back a bit. Okay, we'll hold here. Can you lift the hips a little bit high? Keep the ribs drawn in. If you wanted a little bit more, transition the weight into the left heel and see if you can lift up the right heel for 3 breaths, 3 long breaths. And if you're like me and need to walk your left foot back a bit, then go for it. So this brings a little bit more length down the back of the hamstrings. Once you've done 3 breaths, swap it out, other side. So again, we're putting pressure on an isometric hold when the muscles are a little bit longer, which we don't usually do. 1 more breath. Nice, hug the knees towards the chest, big breath in. As you exhale, can you drop the knees over towards the right? 1 breath here. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, drop the knees over towards the left. Eye gaze might come down your right hand, maybe right shoulder. Inhale, come back through center, grab the backs of your legs, roll yourself up. Cross over your feet. No, before we do that, let's extend our legs long. Let's find our Paschimottanasana. Big breath in, lift up tall. Exhale, fold yourself over your thigh. So again, just countering that strong activation, that energy lift of Setu Bandhasana with a bit more of a passive and introspective fold forward. This might feel, quite uncomfortable, quite tight and intense. It's the beginning of our practice, so don't worry. Just breathe here. 2 more breaths. Start to lift yourself up, cross over your feet, find yourself into a tabletop position. Hands come wide, start to take some circles on the wrists, spread through the fingertips, and as you shift the weight forward, really think about pressing into the knuckles. And then see if you can change to the other side. If you are ready to fire up, you can come into a plank position. Now, I have done these asanas before, and so I'm going to stay down on the ground, but you guys are fresh. You guys can go up if you wanted to. Alternative thing you can do here, you can flip one of your hands so that the fingers are pointing back, opening through the forearms and the wrists. Our Purvottanasana, which we'll be mostly working towards today because it requires a lot of strength, requires a lot of opening through the wrists and the forearms as well. Hence why we're doing that here. Other side. Maybe a little lean back, a little shift forward feels okay here. Again, any sharp sensations, please back out a little bit. Come through center. You can always press the back of the wrist towards the ground to counter that. Hands come to the ground. Knees come back, so either in a kneeling position or tuck the toes, lift the knees off. Find yourself in a full plank position. Arms are long, glutes are engaged. Breathe in here. Exhale, can you drop the heels towards the left? Reach the right hand high. Paschimottanasana. You can always bring the left knee down here. Take a big breath in. Can you lift the right hand a little bit higher? As you exhale, make sure the feet are split here. We're going to come onto our toes, turn the body towards the mat, but reach the right hand towards the left. Inhale, start to open back up, Paschimottanasana. Exhale, start to twist. Inhale to open. Bring strong engagement through the core. Exhale to twist. Last time to open. Breathe in. This time, can you hover your right foot off just for a moment? As you exhale, look forward. Bend the right knee. Softly step the right foot forward. Left knee comes down. Shift the hips back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, can you fold? Let's try just one more breath like that. Soften the right knee. Can you draw the right hip back a little bit more? Start to slide the weight into the right foot. As you do that, tuck the left toes and push off, standing splits. Left toes, lift high. Back leg is long, left hip is down, so it's square to the ground. You can stay with the hands grounded. If you wanted to, you could play with lifting them up, building lots of strong stability around the ankle joint. One more breath here. Can you lift the left foot a little bit higher? Let's bring the hands towards heart center, all of us. Use the strength of the back. Big breath in, lift Virabhadrasana 3. So press out of the right hip, ribs in slightly, trying to get the chest and the leg parallel towards the ground. Option here, if you'd like, hands can come behind the back. See if you can clasp the hands together and pull down towards the back. Last breath here. Inhale, release the hands, long step back with the left foot. Turn the left toes to the back corner of the mat. Exhale, start to press the left knee out, sink the hips back. Right toes turn to the top left corner of your mat. So it's like a lifted skandasana. See if you can bring the hip in line with the knee. We're going to stay here for about, let's say 3 breaths. Because I'm feeling nice today. And I didn't say 5. Always something to be grateful for, right? Draw the ribs in slightly. Keep pressing that left knee out. Action, that right toe down. Big breath in. As you exhale, hands might come to the ground. Lower the hips towards the left. Right toes peel to the sky. Drop the hips down. Let's step that left foot forward slightly. This is our first opportunity for our Ardha Purvottanasana. Hands come behind you. Option, any point, reverse tabletop. Otherwise, breathe in, lift through the chest. Exhale, press through the hands and lift the hips high. Draw the right toes towards the ground. Lift out of the shoulders. Press strongly through the fingertips and the palm. Drive through the left heel. Engage through the right quad by drawing the right knee up. One more breath in. Exhale, lower down. Super strong, right? Cross over the feet. Option to jump back through chaturanga, otherwise step back. We're going to hold for a breath. And then when you're ready, lower self to ground. Zip the feet together. Hands come by the ribs. Option for our Shalabhasana to lift the feet and hands stay by. Otherwise, clasp the hands behind the back or maybe hands by your sides. Take your pick. Big breath in. Exhale, can you start to lift? So you're zipping your feet together, your inner legs together as much as you can. Point the toes, draw the knuckles back. One more big breath in. Exhale, lower down. Hands come by ribs. Breathe in as you press up onto your knees. Exhale. Tuck toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Connect with your breath again. Connecting to just the thoughts, the mind. If you've noticed it's floated away, can you keep encouraging it to come back? Use your next breath in, roll yourself forward. Either on the knees or your toes, can you exhale and drop the heels towards the right. Left arm reaches high. Lift out of the right shoulder. Big breath in. Exhale, come onto the toes as you pivot the body in the direction of the ground. Left hand reaches towards the right side. Inhale to open. Exhale, twist. Inhale, last time. Well, kind of. Exhale. Last time, inhale, open. This time, can you lift the left heel off just for a moment? Look forward. Softly, slowly, step the left foot forward. Right knee comes back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Big breath in, lift tall. Exhale, fold forward. Start to shift the weight forward into your left foot. Tuck onto the right toes. Inhale, kick off. Standing splits. Exhale, can you fold forward a little bit more? Keep trying to reach the right toes far away from you. If you wanted a challenge, hands can come off. One more breath. Using the back of the leg to lift that foot up. Let's all bring our hands through heart center. Start to lift up and into our Virabhadrasana 3. Draw the shoulders back. Really using the strength of the core, the glute, the leg, everything to hold us here. Options with hands behind the back. One more breath. Inhale, long step back, turn the right toes towards the corner. Exhale, send the hips down, keep the left toes down. Hands stay at heart. Can you keep breathing into the diaphragm here? So the left toes are down here because we also want to work into the tops of the feet. It's not often where we build strength there and we ask the foot to be pointed. But on our Purvottanasana, we need to do that. So that's why we're doing it now. One more breath. Exhale, can you sink a little bit deeper? Hands might come to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, sink down, Skandasana. Right elbow presses into the thigh. Drop the hips. Right foot comes out. Adho Purvottanasana. Hands come behind. Take modifications if you need. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, lift the hips. Press the left foot into the ground. Left toes. Just try 4 more breaths here. Wow. Cross over the feet. Breathe in, maybe jump back through your chaturanga if you wanted to, or step back, hold for a breath. Lower down, Shalabhasana, your variation. Zip the feet together, maybe hands behind. Big breath in, exhale. So again, we're using the back body to lift us up here. All of this work is going to help us with our Purvottanasana. And it's going to feel so good in our Paschimottanasana once we release. One more final breath in. Lift a little higher if you can. Exhale, come down. Press up onto the knees. Big breath in. Exhale, tuck toes. Lift the hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana. hips are high, draw the heels towards the ground. Release the neck. We're going to come into our second sequence, and then we get into our peak poses. Let's inhale, sweep the right toes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, start to bend the knee, pull the foot close towards the glutes. Now, can you start to open that knee high so you're stacking the hip on top of each other? You can absolutely stay here. Draw the right shoulder down a bit. If you wanted to, you could try pivot towards Wild Thing. So left heel comes down. Try land the right foot lightly and then reach the right hand, maybe towards the top of the mat. Big opener for the heart. Squeeze the glutes. Big breath in. Exhale. Look towards the top of the mat. Breathe in, draw the right knee towards the chest. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands, lower the left knee. Hips go back. One breath. Inhale, shift the weight forward, tuck onto left toes. Lift the hands high, high lunge. Exhale. Back leg is long here. Hips are square. Now you can absolutely stay with the toes tucked. If you wanted to challenge yourself a bit more, bring some more strength into that front leg, shift the weight forward slightly, and then come onto the tops of your toes. That's going to take any traction, any friction out of the back foot to isolate through the front leg. Breathe in, lift the arms. As you exhale, press into the front foot, lift the back leg off. Arms sweep back, Vinyasa 3. Inhale here. Exhale, transition back, high lunge with toes tucked or untucked. Inhale. Exhale, shift forward. Reach back, inhale. Exhale, lower with control. Big breath in. Last time, exhale, press through the front heel. One more big breath in here. And exhale. Wow. Inhale, sweep the hands high, lift the left knee. Exhale, Tadasana, hands come behind the back. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the chest. Palms press together. Clasp the hands together. Exhale. As you dive forward, transition the weight into the left foot. If you wanted to, sweep the right toes high. You can always have the hands down on the ground here. If you've got the hands clasped, can you see if you can pull them towards the front of the mat a little bit more? Fall out as many times as you need. This is where we're going to get a bit challenging. All bring our hands to the ground. Breathe in, long step back, but try as much as you can to keep the toes untucked. Breathe in here. Exhale, come back into your plank position. So your feet are pointed. You can always lower the knees down towards the ground. This is going to bring more tension into the abdominals, make it more challenging for the quadriceps. Let's try 3 more breaths here. Press out of the ground with the hands, puff up through the upper back. Know that you can rest at any point. Breathe in. Exhale, Chaturanga. Come down to the belly. Ooh. Inhale, baby Bhujangasana. Light press with the hands. Exhale, come down. Press up onto your knees, tuck onto the toes. Ardha Mukha. I guess we like our long holds today. I'm sure no one's complaining, right? No one is. Right. Sweep the left toes high. 3-legged dog. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the left knee. Pull the foot close to the glutes. Start to open the hip a little bit to the left. You can stay here. Or you can make your very slow and controlled and light transition into your Wild Thing. Of course, if you feel any pinching, please modify or find your way out. Inhale, start to look towards the top of the mat. Draw the left knee towards the chest. Exhale, step the left foot through. Right knee comes down. Shift the hips back. Ardha Hanumanasana. One more breath here. Shift the weight forward, tuck onto the right toes, lift the right knee off. Big breath in as you sweep the arms high. Exhale, high lunge, draw the ribs in slightly. Again, you can absolutely stay here. If you want a little bit more, shift the weight forward slightly, untuck the right toes. This is also going to open down the front of the ankles. Okay, big breath in. Exhale, push out of the left heel as you extend the arms back, lift the right foot off. Big breath in. Bend the left knee, lower the back toes down, lift the arms. Inhale here. Exhale. Try push most of the weight through the front foot. Inhale. Exhale. Building so much strength, I love it. Inhale. Exhale, last time. Hold here. One final breath. Inhale, sweep the arms high, knees to chest. Exhale. Tadasana. Take the hands behind the back, clasp the hands together, breathe in, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, tip forward, option to sweep the left toes high, standing splits. Try to quiet your mind here by focusing on breath. It's going to help with balance. One more breath. Can you lift the left foot a little higher? Hands come to the ground. Big breath in. As you exhale, take a long step back with the left toes. Of course, you can always keep them tucked. Breathe in. Exhale, step the right toes back as well. Always come down to the knees if you need. 3 more breaths. Zip the feet together. Press out of the upper body. Big breath in. Exhale. Chaturanga. Elbows come in. Inhale, baby Bhujangasana. As you exhale, come down, press onto the knees this time. Keep yourself traveling back. Vajrasana. Wow. Option here if you wanted to. Shift the weight forward, tuck onto the toes, and sit back on the heels, maybe tucking any of the smaller toes underneath as well. So we've been trying to point our toes within the class, and so this is a nice counter pose, counter action to that. And within all Vinyasa classes, we want to try and find balance. So if you're working up to a peak pose, you're activating certain muscle groups and ways of moving, you want to make sure that you include some other ways of moving as well to just counter that, just so that we can balance and even out our body. One more breath. Shift the weight forward slightly. Untuck the toes. Maybe tap them on the ground. And then cross over the feet. Come back onto your sit bones. So we're going to have some playtime. As much as playtime you can have with Purvottanasana. I mean, there's always everyone's got their least favorite poses, least, bottom 5, and this is definitely in one of them. But that's why we need to work on it. Anyway, what we're going to do is whatever variation you're holding, maybe that's reverse tabletop, maybe that's one leg out, maybe it's the other leg out, maybe it's full. We're going to hold it for, let's try 8 breaths. If you wanted to push it a little bit more, maybe 10. If you need to, come out earlier as you need. Let's take the hands behind. Whew. Draw the ankles together. You ready? Breathe in, lift up tall through the chest. As you exhale, press through the heels, lift the hips, draw the toes down, squeeze the glutes, lift out of the shoulders. Count your breaths here. Your chin can stay tucked, or you can drop your head back if you wanted to. How was that? Wow, that's all I can say, really. I'm going to feel this tomorrow, that's for sure. Let's counter that with our Paschimottanasana. I'm sure this is going to feel great as a opposing action to that. Breathe in, lift tall. Exhale, bow your heart space forward. Again, just like I said before, try not to force this here. We're kind of just letting gravity do its thing. We can encourage depth of this asana with breath. So using our inhale to perhaps lift a little higher, and then exhaling, folding a little bit deeper. Take one more deep breath here. Start to walk yourself back. We're just going to finish with a twist and then make our way onto our backs. Draw the right foot in. Find a variation of our Maritrasana. So our right foot is about a fist distance between the leg and, between the foot and the leg. Breathe in, lift tall. As you exhale, can you start to twist open towards the right? The elbow might come around the outside of the thigh. And it's going to help traction the heart open towards the right. You might like to flex your toes here. Your left toes, I should say. That's going to engage through the front of the left leg. Take one more breath. When you're ready, come back through center. We'll swap it out. Left foot draws in. Left fingertips come behind you. Breathe in, lift tall. Draw the right toes back. Exhale, can you twist towards the left? Just notice where your drishti, your eye gaze is at the moment. If you notice it's wandering around, can you focus it on one point? Let's come back through center. Let's unwind down on our back. Let's take our hands around the outsides of our feet. Bring the soles of the feet together and see if you can take your knees wide. So it's kind of like you're doing a Baddha Konasana, but you're having your hands around, the feet are lifted. Feel free to get creative here. Maybe you extend one leg out and then draw it back in. Kind of just like your happy baby. You just move the feet anywhere that feels good, not thinking about it too much. I'll offer to finish in Halasana, our plow pose, if you would like to go there. If you're ready for Shavasana, please feel free just to make yourself comfortable. Hands might come down by your sides if you're taking this option, and then extend the legs up long. You can absolutely stay here, or breathe in, start to lift the hips. As you exhale, keep the feet traveling over your head. The toes may touch the ground, they may not. Any point you might feel sharp sensations, please let this go. Unwind a little bit, you've gone a bit too far. Rock up high onto your shoulders a little bit. Keep trying to lift the hips high. Draw the belly button in. You can imagine this being like a upside down Paschimottanasana. It's a little bit easier because you've got the weight of the legs kind of pulling down towards the ground. So you can generally find a deeper flexion of the spine here. So you might feel this along the back, maybe the back of the legs, maybe up the nerves of the spine. 2 more breaths here. Just start to roll yourself down. Savasana. After practicing Halasana, I like to have my feet wide on the mat and knock my knees together. It just neutralizes the spine for me and my lower back. Just find a position that feels comfortable for you to rest in for a couple of minutes. Tucking the chin in slightly. Well, basically just letting the gifts of our asana practice just wash and shower over us here. I'll let you know when it's time to transition out on the other side. If you've noticed that your mind has wandered off somewhere, if tension has crept into your body, see if you can just let it wash away, drawing the mind to your breath. We're going to just start to take some small movements in our body, maybe wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Very slowly, or just in your own time, we will make our way up into a seat. Closing down the eyes once we've landed. Maybe bringing the hands through heart center if that feels good for you. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really mean it from my heart. When you turn up to the practice, you not only make yourself or encourage yourself to become a better person, but it really ripples out to the other people and the other things that you involve your life in, yourself in, and I thank you so much for that. I really hope to see you again sometime soon. Let me know how you found this class in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And from me to you, namaste. And if you enjoyed that class, if you wanted to support me at any point in creating these free videos, these free classes for YouTube, we have just signed up for Patreon. If you haven't heard, I'll put the link down below, and that way you can support me. And in return, if you wanted a fuller length video, we'll be releasing one per month. And that includes a longer practice, anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes, where we break down a peak pose. And yeah, it includes asana, pranayama, meditation, philosophy, all that kind of stuff, as well as other benefits. So feel free to check that out. Otherwise, share it with a friend, comment, engage with this video. It would mean so much for me. Much love to you.